This first document we have is a report we received from the City of Olathe and their contractors, Call Valley Engineering, that states we do not have any water problems. The second document we have here, I can get in close enough. This is the plan that states this is the public water main improvements to serve Garmin International Warehouse for what they're digging up in our front yard right now. And we just wanted to point out, you can see the highlighted zigzag across here. This is the drainage system that runs down the side adjacent to our house. And we have very smart water out here because it does know to go down and make a 90-degree turn, go back across the street, to go back down to the next catch basin, and then back the street again to drain from the ditch.
From the water runoff as it comes down through here, obviously you can see the water staining. You can see where their levels have been when we have heavy rain. We've played this game for 4 to 5 years. Every time it rains severely hard, I have to come out here, drop a hose over there on the side, which you can see is a little unsightly, especially if you're a homeowner with a nice swimming pool in your backyard. I can suck water out of there. The pump that's over there runs about 1,400 gallons an hour, and it's been on there and pumped water out anywhere from 2 to 10 hours before at a time. So what happens is the hydrostatic pressure, the water is greater, the pressure is equal, the water amount of outside the pool wall and the water inside the pool wall, which causes it to float out. Through that process, over several years, you can see it's finally just torn the liner completely away from the pool. But what ends up happening is that water, you can see the staining down here. The water level comes up to about the same level. The city engineer and even the private engineering consultant wanted to know if the pool had a leak. Well, a pool will only leak down to where the leak's at and stop. This pool gains water in a heavy rain, and then once it settles itself back out and is able to perk itself out, it will drop. We haven't had rain here for over a month of any significance, so that's why you're not seeing any standing water behind it. But a few weeks ago when they were out here to do the studies, the water was up as high as the water level in the pool. Actually, it's higher. You can see there right above the light, the staining on the liner, that water level was up that high. The bricks that are on the outside of the pool, and that was addressed in the private engineering study that was done here about the compaction methods that were done under this brick. The surface area here really should have been able to drive semis on here just like a driveway. There's about 6 inches of AB3. There's 6 tons of 1/4 inch, and there's 13 tons of dust. They call it, which is a compaction. It's all been roll compacted. In addition to the catch basin and the driveway damage, the driveway's in distress halfway down the block. The damage seems to stop at the catch basin. As you can see, the elevation of this has probably dropped between 3 to 6 inches. The neighbor's driveway up here is completely crumbling, and we can start to kind of walk up the street and we can show you the damage to the rest of it. That's from the water damage that's coming underneath the driveways, and this has been going on for several years, and the water gets under there in the winter and will heave those driveways and make them crack. As you can see, that's depressed under there. You can probably take a yardstick and poke down underneath there, anywhere, I'd say a good easily a foot, 6 inches to a foot, and possibly more in some areas. What you're seeing is the next driveway up Same damage, water traveling underneath of it at the curb level. As you can see over here, the wicking, the separation of the joint and the heaving, and that there is obviously some kind of staining and stuff coming out from underneath of it that's not on the piece of concrete that's ahead of it. So it is wicking under the ground and bringing things out of there that who knows what it is. This driveway is one of the worst out here. This happens to be my driveway. As you can see, the cracks and the separations in there from water being, free-flowing water being underneath there and coming out, wicking out of there, and in the winter months, freezing underneath and causing it to heave. I've asked the city several times to pressure test the hydrant here. They say there's no problems there. We still continue to see that same damage there. And all the driveways that you're seeing are within the same line as the hydrant line that's running all the way down the street. So those driveways that are affected by this, water is following that piece of pipe. We've asked the city to come out several occasions to help us locate what might be the problem, since it is a city utility, the water. As you can see, it's depressed here by the fire hydrant. These areas typically will stay wet. My water meter underground there it's usually covered about 75% of the time in water. I've asked them how they've read that meter when it's full of water, and he said that they thought they pumped that out every time they read that. So there again, the joint separation, it's caused by heaving. It's caused by water being up. If you follow the curb all the way up, you're going to see those breaks at every major joint, not saw joints, but it would lead me to believe that, as you can see here, the two elevations or two pieces of sidewalk separation, that there is water behind there, standing either behind there, or it is causing it to move. Again, the water line that we're coming up to is a suspect water line, I think, running down the street towards the driveways that you've just seen the damage on. Up here at this next major crack, I showed this to a city and the city engineer, and they had a private consulting firm come out and look at that, and I addressed this damage with them, and they thought there was nothing wrong. I have a detailed report that we can send to you guys that shows that their answers for what damage is being done here. Again, right through here, the separation in the break, the water line that they painted